What I got, you can't buy. It resides between my eyes. Walked through the fire, came out better on the other side. See, life's like a beach if you find the sand. And right now, I'm feeling like 100 grand.
You are listening to Inspired Insider with your host, Dr. Jeremy Wise.
Dr. Jeremy Wise here. I am the founder of InspiredInsider.com, where I talk with inspirational entrepreneurs and leaders. Thanks for tuning into this special Best Of episode where we'll take a look back at some of our favorite moments from previous conversations. This episode is brought to you by Rise 25. At Rise 25, we help B2B businesses give to and connect to their Dream 200 relationships and partnerships. We do this in two ways. Number one, we are an easy button for a company to launch and run a podcast for ROI. We do the strategy, accountability, and full execution and production. Number two, we are also an easy button for your company's corporate gifting. We make gifting and staying top of mind to your clients, partners, and prospects simple and seamless and affordable. Some companies even send gifts to staff from a culture perspective. All you have to do is give us the list of people you want to follow up and keep in touch with, and we do everything else from there, from gift selection to the card to your branding on the box. We call ourselves the magic elves that run in the background to make it as stress-free as possible for companies so they can build relationships and run their business. For me, the number one thing in my life is relationships, and I am always looking at how to give to my best relationships. And I've found no better way over the past decade than having them on my podcast, featuring what they are working on and sharing it with the world, and also sending delicious treats in the mail every few months for years. If you have thought about starting a podcast or gifting, do it. If you have questions, email us at support@rise25.com or go to rise25.com to learn more. Now, let's look back at some of our favorite moments from past conversations. All right, Dr. Jeremy Wise here. This is Great People, Great Resources. I'm here with Anderson Schoenrock. He is definitely a great person. And Anderson, I'm happy to feature. And this is part of the kind of the top resource series. We talk about people's favorite. It could be books, podcasts, newsletters, and we're going to get into what Anderson's favorite are. But before we get to it, we'll hear a little bit about what he's got. Several successful brands and businesses. Anderson, tell people about your companies and where they can check it out.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Thanks for having me. So my company is called Memory Ventures. We're a holding company. We own 4 direct-to-consumer e-commerce brands, and then we also own a 3PL, third-party logistics company, where we help other e-commerce sellers and brand owners do fulfillment and manage their direct-to-consumer orders as well as their Amazon store. So yeah, on our brands, we own a couple of companies in the consumer digitization space. So we take old photos, out-of-date videos, that sort of stuff, and digitize it for people. Scan Cafe is our primary brand there.
Well, I'm going to start recommending you because I always tell people, like, what if what if it floods? What if you have a fire? Like, I was talking to someone, and by the way, even if you don't have those things, these VHS tapes, they just wear down. You'll put them in and they will not play. So I got paranoid. I've used, these services before because I wanted all of those things. So anyways, if you're looking at your shelf I just had a friend, his dad died, and I'm like, you need to get all those things preserved. Just send them to a company. So
yeah.
Anyways.
Absolutely. Yeah. We digitize all that stuff. We can put it up in the cloud. We've got an app that we offer where you can pull your memories in and also capture the stories behind them, because we think that's important. But yeah, that stuff,
so if your memories aren't worth $8, like, come on, like, give me a break.
Exactly. So that's one of our brands. We own Crema Coffee Products, which is in the espresso space. We sell a variety of tools to basically soup up your home espresso maker, as well as a line of espresso beans and other products to help you keep your machines running optimally. So for the coffee espresso enthusiasts out there, I'd encourage them to check out that brand. And then we own a brand in the consumer printing space called Waterleaf Paper Company. where we produce a eco-friendly wrapping paper product. The paper is actually plant-based and it dissolves relatively quickly after being in the landfill. You could actually put it in your sink and run water over it, and the paper will dissolve right before your eyes. So that's kind of our main product there. And then we
There
also,
needs to be like an infomercial for this. You know, like those
yeah,
infomercials, like
totally.
OxyClean,
Yeah.
like
It's a very
Billy Mays,
demonstrable,
like you just swirl it and it like disappears.
yeah, it's a very demonstratable product for
Yeah.
sure. So that's been a fun product to be involved in kind of growing and developing. Because it's, no, you get up Christmas morning and you've got the bag
Exactly.
of
Just put it in the
wrapping
sink and just
paper. Yeah.
yeah.
So even if you decide to put it in the garbage, at least you know that when it goes to the landfill, relatively quickly, it dissolves and it's all plant-based, so it's safe for the environment. And then having that portfolio of direct consumer brands, we had kind of built an internal function to manage all of our direct consumer shipments and our Amazon stores and so we ended up launching in 2017 a 3PL business.
You
Our
weren't
first,
busy enough with all those brands. You need another
yeah,
business, right?
yeah, exactly. So that's been a fun business. We've got two warehouses, one in Indianapolis and one in Nevada. And yeah, we love helping other e-commerce brands grow their businesses and take the weight of dealing with the logistics off their plate. And we, because we own our own brands, we kind of understand more than many 3PLs, kind of the unique nuances and challenges and pain points for brand owners. So, yeah.
I love
So,
this. Yeah, check out it's victorylane-solutions.com. And then I want to give a shout out to Mark Hiddleston. He has a company, Special Rack. So he actually supplies the like what we're looking at if you're watching the video. So the racks, and they go in and they actually input them into warehouses, whether it's
oh,
Amazon, Walmart, or 3PL. So he's an awesome guy. I'll have to connect you with Mark Hiddleston. That's what he's been doing for decades now at this point. So your favorite resources,
yeah.
Anderson, books, podcasts, newsletters. What are you listening to?
Yeah. So I, try and as much as I can, whether it's when I'm working out or driving or whatever, just consume as much, whether it's an audiobook, consume as much content. I feel like as a business owner, entrepreneur, the world's moving fast, and it's kind of one of our jobs to just continue to stay curious and educate ourselves. So I'd say, on the book side, for anyone, I know this is maybe a pretty like kind of core, basic, fundamental, but for anybody who hasn't read any of Jim Collins' books, Good to Great, Great by Choice, those are like really good kind of like core business books. Um, I also think even though we don't operate all of our businesses on EOS, I think some of the EOS traction stuff, even
Yeah.
if you're not going to implement EOS, a lot of the principles in terms of how to run an effective leadership team meeting and those things are really good.
Yeah, Traction's great. I had
Yeah,
Gino Wickman on the podcast, and then I also had Mark Winters on, who wrote Rocket Fuel. That's a really good
yeah,
one
that's a good
too,
one too.
as
Yeah,
well.
yeah. So those are great books. And then, I'm always reading. I also, just find um, this is less about like pure business learning and more just about, I just tend to find lessons in other people's business journeys. So some of the, stories of other companies, I think the book's called Shoe Dog, talks about
Oh, that's
Nike's.
one of my favorites. Oh,
Yeah,
totally.
so I always try and kind of read those sort of like business biography, biographical books. So those are things that I am drawn to. Um, on the more kind of like current business momentum, one of the things I've really been enjoying recently, I was recommended a newsletter called Superhuman. And it's basically a daily digest sort of aggregation of everything that's happening in the AI world. And then they have other newsletters about robotics and other things that are happening. And that's obviously a place that's evolving and moving so
Is
fast.
this it right here?
Yeah, that's it right there.
Superhuman.ai. Okay.
Yeah. So I'd encourage anybody to sign up for that. That drops into my inbox every day and kind of and it's an interesting combination of kind of news aggregation and stories of what's happening with different companies in the AI space, but then they also get into some very specific tools and even like some of the newsletters will have specific prompts for ChatGPT or Midjourney, and it'll show you the results. So I just find that, running our brands and our portfolio brands, like we're very keenly aware that AI is something that we need to be thinking about and implementing in our business. But there's so much momentum and things that are happening that sometimes it's hard to get your head around, like even what the possibilities are. So just having the different prompts and different examples of things that people are doing, I find to be a good source of kind of creating ideas and ideation within our team. And I actually had our marketing revenue team subscribe to this as well, so that they're kind of
Keep their finger on the pulse of
giving
everything.
the finger. Yeah, exactly. And then in terms of podcasts and things like that, I don't listen to every episode, but Diary of a CEO, there are a lot of good interviews there. I'm part of a group called E-commerce Fuel, and they have a podcast. So they have good interviews and very e-commerce specific content. I was at a conference recently, and a guy named Andrew Ferris spoke, and he's sort of got an agency that's focused on meta advertising. So they go deep into the weeds on his podcast. I was actually just kind of looking at my phone here to see what other stuff. I also listened to the PBD podcast, which is Patrick Bet-David.
Yeah. Oh, he's got some good episodes for sure.
He's got some good episodes, a combination of kind of current events, a little bit of politics, but really at the end of the day, really all about kind of like capitalism and business and strategy and really how to navigate the macro. I find it good to kind of get a view of the macro environment and think about what do I need to be doing in my business to navigate the bigger picture. So, obviously this year, Chinese tariffs and things like that have been kind of things that as a business owner, you may not directly control, but understanding what's happening and kind of where the winds are blowing is just, very helpful in terms of making sure that we're on track and thinking strategically about, not only the short run, but the long run as well. So
Here's the Ecom Fuel podcast. I've had Andrew on the show also, and he shared some of his favorite tips and journey there too. So that's a great one.
yeah, Andrew's awesome. Just a genuine guy that wants to help people grow their businesses and lots of background and experience in the e-com space. So definitely recommend that for anybody that's doing e-commerce.
Anderson, thank you so much. This was absolutely fantastic. Everyone could check out more episodes of the podcast. Thanks.
Great. Thank you.
Dr. Jeremy Weiss here. I'm here with Paul Bigham. We can check him out at the bighamagency.com. And this is great people, great resources. Paul is definitely one of those great people, and he's got a lot of great resources. So, Paul, I just want to start off with talk about your company and what you do. And we're going to talk about some of his favorite resources. It could be books, it could be podcasts, it could be newsletters, it could be whatever strikes his fancy.
Right.
Paul, tell people about what you do first.
Yeah, thank you, Jeremy. Good to be with you as always. You're my good buddy in many different venues and occasions. So it's fun to be together. So we have Bigham Agency. We are a direct response agency, and primarily we work with faith-based humanitarian organizations to raise funds for them. We, as I like to say, we feed the hungry, house the homeless, clothe the naked, heal the sick, and occasionally we save the lost in our faith in that area. And we do strategy, copy, creative, do all the segmentation, all the marking so that we can figure out what works and do more of what works and figure out what doesn't work and do less of what doesn't work in that area. And we raised a little bit over $3 billion to date, and we still are doing so. And part of that is, I think about 2.2 billion has gone for the state of Israel. We've helped do that. I've been to Ukraine a couple of times, been to Israel several times, and we're very supportive of that anchor of defense, which is really the first defense for us in America to save us from being overthrown. So it's a good thing.
And a lot of the raising you do there is from not from Jewish organizations though, right?
Fundamentally, 99% is from Christian. really Christian Zionists, Christian evangelicals, or whatever demarcation you want to a place on there. But it's not that Jewish people don't give; they obviously do. It's just that we don't work with that many Jewish people. But some, they're certainly our friends, and a little over 32 years, I think it is right now, we've been working with the state of Israel. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, thanks for all the work you do, and some of your favorite resources.
Yeah, I'd like to do. So I teach a class at the University of Texas at Dallas. This semester it's Principles of Marketing. I teach consumer behavior, advanced brand promotion, which is really advertising. That's the new word for the advertising class. It's a really fun class. So in those classes, actually, I bring all of these resources together, and I have 4 videos that I show over the life of the semester. And one of them is called "It's Not About the Nail." It's not about the nail.
That
So if
is
you
one of
haven't
my
seen
favorite videos of all time. I have
it
to
is just
say.
an incredible video. And for those of you who have not seen it, I won't do the spoiler, but it's like a minute 3 or something like that. But it's very, very effective. And
I'm looking
it
at it.
talks.
At least the one I'm
Right,
looking at, Paul, has 28 million views right now
uh,
when you look at it.
probably.
Yeah.
And I think one of my favorite lines is, "But it snags your sweater." So
That is one of my favorites also.
it's a very male female oriented video.
You can go to YouTube. Here it is right here. And
Yeah,
just search "It's Not About the Nail." This is the
it's not
it's
about the nail.
probably there's probably more videos on this exact thing. It's a minute and 41 seconds.
Yeah, a minute
It's worth
41.
every second of it.
Absolutely. And and if you're in one of those relationships where you're not applying the theory here, this is going to improve your relationship for sure if you do that. So,
Not a
and all of
week
the,
doesn't go by where I recommend someone watch this video.
is that right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it's
100%.
really good.
I didn't know what
Yeah,
Paul
because
was going to say, by the
I
way, with this, but yeah.
yeah, because I'll be in, a discussion with someone, and I'll go, "Not about the nail, not about the nail, not about the nail." So it helps me to redirect my fixing everything in the world. So it's really a good thing. So I like that. And the sort of the theme of these 4 that I use is it's about knowing yourself in that area. Shakespeare said, "This above all, to thy own self be true." And that's out of Hamlet. And I think it's Dan Sullivan. I'm not 100% sure. So if it is Dan, great. I want to make sure that I give him that. Dan says a little bit different. He says, "Be clear with yourself first so other people can be clear with you." And that's about knowing what you want to do and what you don't want to do. And it sets up that understanding. The more you understand yourself, the more you can understand other people in that situation, in that as well. So that's one of the ones that I like. The other one is you and I were big sports fans. It's "Who's on First?" With the old Abbott and Costello vaudeville skit that they do, and it's about communication, and that's why I put it in with the communication model. When I go through and explain what the communication model is, I play "Who's on First?" And I have 60 kids in my class. Kids, they're young people. They're 18 to 24. I have 60 in my class, and of course they're going, "Who's on first? What's on second? I don't know who's on third." And so I talked to them about how it's the language that we use. There's not one thing in this. It's about an 8 minute. It looks like you got a 6 minute there. It's about an 8 minute. I think it's 8:01.
It's probably
If you
8:10 maybe this one.
8:09. I had said
Yeah.
8:01, but it's 8:09.
Yeah.
Well, no, no. You know what? It's for, I think, here, watch me. 8:04. All right, I was pretty close. 8:04. And it's about communication. It's about, you can be 100% correct. Going back to it's not about the nail. You can be 100% correct. Who's on first, what's on second, I don't know, third. Can be very, very confusing, although it's 100% correct. And it's about the model. If the message you send is not received, then there's no message at all in that area. So I think that's a great teaching tool in that area. And then the third one is the monkey business illusion. And again, we see what we want to see, we hear what we want to see, and we think what we want to think. in that area. And it's RAS, or reticular activation system, is that we pick out the things that we want to see and we block out the things that we don't want to see. If you're if you're in the market for a white Camry, and every time you go out to drive, you're going to see a thousand white Camrys, and you won't see another thousand blue Hondas, because you seek out what you want, which I think it's a lot about life, is that we seek out what we want in life. And if we can be clear what we want in life, we can seek it out in a lot easier fashion and that we can go through. And then the last one, and I just played this one last night. It's the ant in the circle. I think it's about 21 seconds.
Really
it's really
quickly.
short.
Well, is this the one? Is the monkey business
Yeah,
illusion?
the monkey business
Okay.
illusion.
Okay, got
Yeah,
it. All
and
right.
through there, and it's
I'll bookmark this and watch it later. I have
yeah,
not seen this one.
it's a really fun thing, and I have a great time with my class because I divide the class up. I've got 60 kids. I got 30 and 30, and I do a demarcation line, and I'll go through, and it's about what you're focusing on, and I'll get them going with each other because some of them will see the illusion and some of them will not see the illusion, and I get them going back and forth about, what do you mean it's there? No, it's not there. Yes, it is there, again, it's about communication and about seeing what we want to see in that area. And then the last one, the ant in the circle, it's also a spider in a circle, but it's where someone takes a Sharpie and draws a circle around an ant, a live ant. And the ant will actually go up to this ink border, demarcation line, and will not cross over it. It just keeps going up and comes, and all it is just ink on paper. And eventually it'll bump itself out. It draws another circle around the ant, and the ant will stay in that little small circle going around and around until it figures out that it can get across, and then it goes away. So the point there that I bring up is that we're our own jailer in our own jail, is that we lock ourselves into things that we could be doing, that we told ourselves that we don't either have the ability or the competence or the resources or the misgivings about the tools and the resources that we have on that. We're self-limiting in that area. And where there was a quote, the greatest prison is the one that we build for ourselves. Simone Bolivar, I think, is the one that said that. And, and so many times in life, myself certainly, so many times in life that I limit myself to when I really could do more. And what I try to do is pass that on to these young people, is to branch out, try something, give it a shot, and if you get too far outside of the line of the circle, of the marks a lot, come on back in. That's okay too. You have to do that. There's another expression I really love, and it says, if you want to find new grounds, want to find new lands, you have to be comfortable with losing sight of the shore for a very long time. I think that's just such a great thought about when you're trying new things, it's not always going to be clear. Here we go. Is this, no, that's not the,
yeah,
not the
they were
one.
showing it right here.
Oh, they were showing, there it
Yeah.
is. So there's the ant. See how the ant just keeps bumping into, there's nothing there. Maybe there's fumes, maybe that's what it's responding to, but there's no physical barrier. And so many times in life, we limit ourselves for non-physical barriers. And the other thing that I tie into that is what's reality and what's illusion, what's perception in that area, reality versus perception. The reality is there's nothing binding you. The perception is I can't go outside because there's a circle in through that area and through there. So I think they're very illustrative of life in general, and I enjoy showing those and sharing it with my students. And it seems at least a few of them stay awake long enough to pay attention to what's going on. And I mean, I really do get notes back from them about how this is making their life better. So that's a lot of fun. I enjoy doing that.
I mean, it really does shift the mindset, right? And that can be applied to anything. I'm also curious, Paul, from your standpoint. I mean, you've been in direct response for a long time now. Do you have any favorites, like copywriting or direct response books or resources over the years that are top of your list?
Yeah, they are, and even with, so let me, if I may, Jeremy, add on an AI, because there's the, oh, you don't write anymore, you just dump into AI. AI is just a tool. That's all it is, and it's a tool of what's already in there, and it's not the tool of the creativity of the individual. So definitely use AI, get started with it, break the inertia, get going with it. But the pile is like Michelangelo's granite. This David, that was just a block of granite, but it was the polishing and the moving and the chipping that brought David out of that block of nothing, or a block of undefined form in that area. So I think Ogilvy on advertising is still the Bible of advertising. I just think it's with a little b. It's the Bible of advertising. Ogilvy on advertising, and it's out of print, but you can still get it on Amazon or eBay or something like that. So that one's really good. And then Eugene Schwartz, his stuff is very good. He has a great quote. As a matter of fact, let me do two. So he has a great quote that he says, "No copy is ever written. Copy is constructed. It's a series of piecing together things that wind up being copy eventually." And that is so true. You start messy. That's another expression I love. Start messy. Just get something down on paper, and then start the editing process, which is the other quote I'd like to do. And it's Clayton Makepeace. I wish I'd met Clayton. I never got to meet him. I was in his circle, and then sadly he passed away before I could actually meet him personally. But he would say to his cub writers, "Never compare my 17th draft to your first draft." So this is Clayton Makepeace, one of the best writers of all, certainly of all current times, who's saying one draft of a Cub person is not to be compared with my 17th draft, because it takes that long, 8, 9, 10, 17, 25, whatever number it takes to do that. I think is giving permission to be better in that situation. And I think that's what good writers do. They take whatever source they have, whether it's AI or it's not actually AI, it's machine learning, but they take machine learning and transform it into something really human and really emotive, and really captures the emotion. Because all decisions are based on emotion. All decisions are based on emotion, and then they're justified with logic, in that area. So you got to get that emotion into the copy, get the people engaged.
Paul, I love that. Actually, I just looked up Ogilvy on advertising on Amazon. It's only $11 and
Yeah. Oh
16
my gosh.
cents
One of the best $11 you'll
for
ever
that.
spend.
So I have not. I listen to everything. I may have to upload it to a site that will do the audio for me, so that I can just listen to it on like 3 times speed or something like that. But no, this is great. Paul, first, I want to be the first one to thanks for, it's always great chatting with you and
Yeah.
hearing your expertise and resources. People can check out bighamagency.com to learn more, and we'll see you over next time. Paul, thanks so much.
Great to be with you, Jeremy. So long.
All right, Jeremy Weiss here. I'm with Dale Castro. You can check them out on their website, and Dale, I'll pull up your website in a second, overlapinteractive.com. But I'm here. This is great people, great resources. Dale's awesome, not just as a basketball coach, but as an entrepreneur. And we're going to talk about some of his favorite books. He's an avid reader. I always love suggestions. And before we do, Dale, just tell people your company and what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me on, Jeremy. And the books that I really enjoy, I'm sorry.
Yeah, start off with what you guys do first.
Okay, all
We'll
right.
dive into it. I'm going to pull up your website actually as you're talking, because you have a cool website here.
Appreciate
Um,
that.
Tell people what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. So Overlap Interactive, we are, our focus is we're a digital agency for physical spaces as we start to niche down. But we are a full service marketing agency, design and development. And so we just celebrated our 10th year. And so we're really proud of that. And really just started on designing websites and development. And from there expanded to different services that were bolted on and creating more stickiness inside there. So we're definitely strong in the development side, which has been great in this space because there's a high need for integration, having a full stack, tech stack, understanding how to connect with CRMs, APIs, integrations as well too. But on the design side and creative side as well too, you must have that strong strategy, understand what we're trying to execute, create that plan, and then tell that story. These are places when we say that we are a digital agency for physical spaces, that's everything from master plan communities to ballparks and arenas to hospitality, like Outrigger is one of our clients in Hawaii, and really concentrating in telling the story of those spaces and then allowing through strategy of creating digital products and marketing efforts as well too to fill up those spaces, selling tickets, selling homes, even working with nonprofits like Habitat for Humanity as well too, and getting needed families into homes as well too. So
I love
that
it.
show.
And if you're listening to the audio, we are on their website, and you can poke around here, Overlap Interactive, and .com, and you can see some of their cool design and everything they do here. So let's get to books. Dale,
Yeah.
some of your favorite books. This could be, I mean, we'll talk about some business books, but if there's leadership books, because I know you are deep into basketball as well, I'd love to hear.
Yeah, let me pull up my app here. We were talking earlier, and yes, a lot of books that I've been listening to. I love to in the mornings either run or walk, so that's been great for me. But books that really have hit me, I would say on my list. Currently, right now, I'm reading "Ego is the Enemy," which is definitely hitting home for in a lot of different ways. But some of the books that I wanted to mention as well too that really impacted me, Playing to Win is great as well too. That's by Roger L. Martin. Also, The Mountain Is You by Brianna West is great as well too. Um, this book was for me in my life at a time, probably a couple of years ago, really resonated with me. It's called Living Untethered by Michael A. Singer as well too. Um, and for all you entrepreneurs out there, I definitely recommend that you pick up the book Ikigai by Hector Garcia as well too. I I love a lot of books. The book that I'm reading right now from Ryan Holiday is Ego is the Enemy. And so being an entrepreneur and being in this game since 1996,
Is Ikigai the Japanese secret to a long and
yes,
happy life? Is that the one?
that's the one.
All right.
Yeah, and that's something that it resonates with me as well too. My wife actually's family's from Japan as well too. We just went to Japan as well
Hmm.
a couple months ago, and they really do live by that. And
Have you ever checked out
that's
the Blue Zones? The Blue
yes,
Zones. So yeah, so I don't know if that's in the same sentiments. I'll have to get this book from your recommendation actually, but the Blue Zones, there's several zones in the world that people are more likely to live to over 100. There's one in Japan, California, Costa Rica, I think Italy, Greece.
yes.
So yeah, I'll have to check this out.
Yeah, the blue zone is interesting. There is a correlation between those because it's just the way that the feeling, the culture. Even in the blue zone, right? It's just or ikigai. It's eating to. I believe it's like 80% full. And so it's being content in a way of understanding that, what you're putting into your body. And the blue zone was interesting as well, too, is just talking about they're not out there exercising. These are older individuals, like in Okinawa, where the elderly are active in the way where they're planting their own food where they're walking to get something at a marketplace. And so they're constantly squatting and bending over. These are things that are not like they're taking classes. This is part of their life. Also, stress, the stress of understanding, what's important, how to digest that, those thoughts as well too, and how to handle it. And then community as well too. So, um, having been in Japan and experiencing that firsthand, you literally feel like if you're in a countryside, more in the countryside, and you'll feel that in the air because there's a utmost respect for each other's, I would say, bubble. in your own personal space, and then also just understanding and being aware of everybody that's around you. There's a certain respect. And so that book was great for me because, when you're building a business, we are all coming from the grind mode, the grind culture where you have to just get it done. And the person that works the hardest basically will win. And we all know that's false. That even translates to what I'm reading right now, and ego is the enemy as well too. That's those greatnesses are in the weak moments and the strong moments as well too. And so that's something that definitely this book was something that I searched out because I don't think any algorithm would give it to me because I wouldn't have wanted to see it. Having a book title that says ego is the enemy is really, you have to be in a certain place to be willing. And that's where I am right now, is willing to really, if I want to be the greatest version of myself, how do I really look within? And so this book has really been able to open that up and share ideas with myself and challenge myself. So that's been really great.
Yeah, Ryan Holiday has a bunch of great books, by the way. So check out Ego's the Enemy. I saw him speak live, and I've
Oh,
actually
wow.
we did an event, and him and his wife came to the event. It was just a small group event. Super nice guy, really smart. Thank you. I just bought Ikigai. Thanks for that recommendation. And since you're a basketball coach, I know we have another just 30 seconds. I was looking up favorite basketball books of all time. Phil Jackson's 11 Rings is one of my favorites, and
Love
Tim
that book.
Grover's Relentless. He coached Kobe and Michael Jordan, and among others. I don't know. Do you have any favorite like basketball type of books or?
Yeah, I mean, what 11 Rings? I mean, I have that Phil Jackson, and you know, it's amazing being a basketball coach because I always correlate it into building. If you being a coach and owning a company is there's so many connection points there. But at the end of the day, what I learned from the basketball is like you have to earn the trust of your players. You have to build that culture, build that culture of winning as well too, and being able to communicate because just because you know how to win doesn't mean that your people understand how you want to win. And sometimes a lot of times it's not about you. So that's been something through my years of coaching that I've really been able to grab onto. And I think has really been a true positive outcome for our company and our culture.
Love it. Dale, thank you so much. Appreciate you. Everyone can check out their site and what they're doing over at overlapinteractive.com.
Appreciate it.
This is Dr. Jeremy Weiss here. This is great people, great resources, and Esther Kiss. We have borntoinfluence.com. You can check her out there. And Esther, tell people about your company and what you do before we get to, she's going to share some of her favorite software, some of her favorite tools, some of her favorite books. We'll get into it, but first start off with what you do.
Thank you. Well, what I do is I specialize in working with experts, subject matter experts, and service-based professionals who want to build their personal brand and they want to get featured in the media. So what we do for them is we help them get featured in traditional media, meaning TV, radio, newspapers, magazines, a lot of the business publications like Forbes and Entrepreneur, and then also online media, podcasts, YouTube shows, Facebook Live interviews, LinkedIn Lives, even some speaking gigs in some cases. It just depends on what makes sense for them and their business.
How'd you get into that?
I had a podcast a long time ago, and that was the whole thing. I discovered this whole world of online coaches and experts, and I wanted to play there. My background is in marketing, and so we had this really good idea with a friend of mine to start a podcast, thinking that if we interview people who are real thought leaders like Gary Vaynerchuk and Perry Marshall and people of that caliber, we give them an audience and then build those relationships. And I had no idea what the offer would be, but I just knew that I needed to connect with people. And as we did that, every time we recorded an interview, at the end, I would ask that, hey, I know you have this book coming out or you have this event. Would you like to be on some other shows as well? And they always said yes. So we started connecting them and it became this full service PR agency. We've been doing this for 13 years now.
I love it. As you know, I'm a huge proponent of podcasting, so I
Yeah.
love it, and it leads to a lot of amazing relationships and business opportunities. So let's talk about some of your favorite books. Obviously, you could see we're on the screen here. Ryan Levesque, I've had him on the podcast. You've helped him. He's got some great books as well. What are some of your favorites?
Well, I really like Ryan's book as well. He has two books, Ask and Choose. One that I really, really like that I remember made a very big impression on me years and years ago was Never Eat Alone. And
Keith
that
Ferrazzi,
book,
that's a great one.
Keith Ferrazzi's book, I remember reading that part. This was before social media, probably like 20, I want to say like 2009, 10, something like that. I was reading it and he had something there where he shared a story that he has 5,000 contacts in his BlackBerry. Remember those phones with the buttons?
I had one of those, yeah.
I thought that, oh my God, because I was back in the Nokia days where you could have 100 contacts in your phone. I'm like, 5,000, that's my goal. That's what I need to do. I had no idea why, but that kind of inspired me to go down on this path to really take building relationships very seriously. And I have to say that that's what gave a really solid foundation to our business as well.
Any other favorites? You mentioned Never Eat Alone, and Tal Raz is the co-author of that book. And so one of my favorites is Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss, and Tal Raz is also the co-author of that one.
Nice. I have that book, but I have yet to read it.
Oh, it's fantastic. I'll send you the Cliff Notes version because I did an interview with Chris on the podcast. It's an hour. I'll give you a taste of what's in the book.
Sounds good.
Any other favorites? Because I know you're always, helping people also. Gary Vaynerchuk has a video on your website as well, and he's got a lot of books as well.
Yeah, I like Gary's books too, but one that really stands out to me is a book by Harry Beckwith. I'm blanking on the title right now, but it has to do with understanding personal branding. And like, for example, if you go to a doctor and you're not medically trained yourself, you really can't tell whether or not that person is
it Selling the Invisible?
Selling the Invisible, that's it.
Okay.
If that
He's got a couple here, actually.
Yeah. So his philosophy is how you present yourself to educate your ideal clients or your prospects, your target market before they come to have a conversation with you is really where the sale happens. Because if they don't have expertise in your area of expertise, there is no way that they could tell who is really the best provider. So it really comes down to communication skills on that. And then the other thing that I really like about it is, of course, PR. He talks about using PR to really be top of mind and build brand awareness and really get in front of the right people.
Thanks for I'm actually looking. I'm gonna have to get these, Esther. So Selling the Invisible, he's got You Inc. He's got The Invisible Touch, Unthinking. There's a bunch here.
Yeah,
actually.
And
What Clients Love is another one.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That's next on my list. Thank you. Now, software. Some of your favorite software tools.
So I recently started diving into AI. Like, of course, we've been using ChatGPT and that kind of basic stuff, but for visual communications, I've ignored my Instagram for like 5 years because I just can't be bothered with taking pictures, selfies all the time. And so I discovered this whole method of creating your so-called AI twin, right, where it really looks like you. But I didn't want to touch that path for a long time because the pictures that I saw from others were really bad quality. Like you could really tell that it's an AI with those, rubbery kind of texture and the skin and wrinkles and all that. But I discovered this. If you go into Fall AI, FAL.ai, Fall AI, it's an aggregator. And within that, you use the module or the software that they have, Flux LoRa, and you train it on your own pictures. This is what I've done for myself. I uploaded like 25, 30 pictures there with different angles, different lighting, different...
Is this the one right here?
Yes, that's the one.
Okay.
You go into the Flux LoRa section, it creates an avatar for you. Then you take inspiration pictures of what you want to have, like a picture of you with that, right? So let's say you go to Pinterest or wherever where you like somebody's picture, take that, put it into ChatGPT, and then in ChatGPT, I have a really long prompt that I give it to describe that picture. So it gives a verbal prompt. And then I take that prompt and take it into Flux LoRa and tell it to apply that to my avatar that it trained on my image. So it basically recreates pretty much that initial image, but with me in it. right? And then if I want to take something very specific and switch it out, like let's just say I don't like the outfit or the shoes or whatever, then I can go and use Nano Banana, which really works well with this too. So all of that combined, plus ChatGPT for the written part of it, it just made content creation so much more easy than it used to be.
Here's Nano Banana right here. This is what you're referring to.
Yeah. I actually use Nano Banana inside Higgsfield. You can also use it inside Fall AI, but for me, at least, a lot of times Fall fails when I try to generate a picture with Nano Banana, so Higgsfield works for me better.
What is it called?
Higgsfield, Higgsfield.
Very cool. Any other productivity tools that you like to use? Because I know you're probably in email a lot.
I do a lot of emails, yes. So one thing that I always like to use is Streak. It's streak.com. It's an extension for Gmail, and it lets you track the opens on your Gmail, like even if you're sending personal emails, not newsletter style emails. So that just really helps. Like, for example, if I'm pitching a journalist for a client, if I see that they opened it 5 times, I'm going to follow up differently than if they haven't opened it at all, right? And the same thing goes for prospective
It's this right
clients.
here.
That one. That one I've been using for over 10 years. It works really, really well. Another one is just a function inside Gmail. It's the snooze button. So if I send an email to somebody, I just automatically assume that they're not going to respond, even though they do most of the time. So I put on this snooze button there that, hey, I need to follow up with this person in a week or in 3 days or whenever. And at that time, whichever time I pick, it will come back into my inbox. It also helps with if I want to watch somebody's video or like check out a course or something, but I can't do it right this minute. I put it for the weekend or whenever I think I'll have time, and it will come back to my inbox at that time.
I love it. Esther, I want to be the first one to thank you. Everyone could check out borntoinfluence.com to learn more, and see everyone next time. Esther, thanks so much.
Thank you so much.
What I got, you can't buy. It resides between my eyes. Walked through the fire, came out better on the other side. See, life's like a beach if you find the sand. And right now, I'm feeling like 100 grand.